Welcome to our deep dive today. And we are going to be cracking open the new market wizards to really understand what makes the best traders tick. And, you know, we always hear about their strategies and their methods and their systems and all of that. But we're going a little bit deeper today. We're really going to be looking at the psychology. The inner game that lets them not just survive, but thrive under pressure.
Absolutely.
So we're going beyond, you know, the typical how to trade advice and more into the mindset of these market masters.
Yeah, and I think what's so captivating about this book is that it really dives into that emotional and psychological framework that these traders use. It's really about understanding their resilience and how they navigate this intense world of the markets.
It's like they have this extra layer of expertise, right? Like, you know, there's that story that Ed Seykota tells in there about the Jade Fable.
And it's not about finding some magical indicator. It's about recognizing that there's something more to trading than just the technicals.
Absolutely. It's about seeing that entire landscape, not just focusing on individual data points. And this kind of reminds me of what Krauss said in the book. He said, we become what we believe. And I think that that idea is so powerful because it really highlights the need to align your subconscious beliefs with your conscious goals, especially in trading.
Like if you're constantly thinking you're going to lose, or that the market is out to get you, are you even giving yourself a fair shot?
Exactly.
You're kind of setting yourself up for a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You're exactly right. Your actions and your trading decisions stem from your underlying beliefs. And if those beliefs are negative, you're likely to sabotage your own success before you even begin.
Wow.
And speaking of self-sabotage, there's a story in the book
about a trader who would hide his brokerage statements.
What?
Because he couldn't face his losses.
Oh, wow. That's avoiding reality to the extreme.
Totally.
It makes you wonder what's going on there psychologically.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't even acknowledge your losses, how can you learn from them?
Well, that anecdote really highlights the importance of confronting our psychological barriers. Sweeping those negative beliefs under the rug won't make them disappear. You have to actively work on erasing those negative patterns and replacing them with positive ones.
So we need to face our fears.
And
rewire our brains for success.
Exactly.
But how do we actually do that? Is there a step-by-step guide to becoming a trading ninja?
I wish there was a simple recipe. But experience and mentorship play a huge role. You know, Bill Lipschutz, one of the traders featured, learned about options from Sidney Homer. Who was a seasoned expert. And he had this good foundation, but that hands-on experience. And guidance from somebody established in the field really propelled him forward.
So it's like having a Jedi Master, but for trading? You need that practical application. That wisdom that comes from someone who's been in the trenches. And has the battle scars to prove it.
Lifshutz's story also emphasizes the importance of having a mentor who trusts you to make decisions. And yes, even mistakes. That kind of trust and freedom allows you to grow and build confidence in your abilities.
Mentorship check. But let's talk about risk management. These traders are making big moves in the market. It can't just be a gamble, right?
Absolutely not. Risk management is crucial. You know, Monroe Trout, for instance, focuses on the Sharpe ratio as a measure of success. He isn't just chasing profits. He's looking for consistent returns while minimizing risk.
So it's about the long game. It's about sustainability, not just chasing those quick wins that could vanish.
As quickly as they appear. Speaking of sustainability, what about knowing when to cut your losses? It can't all be sunshine and roses. Trout emphasizes the principle of never letting a loser spiral out of control. You have to adjust your trade size based on your performance, scaling back when you're losing, increasing it when you're winning. It's like a constant feedback loop.
Yes.
Your risk management strategy needs to adapt to your performance.
Absolutely.
It's like you're constantly adjusting your sales to the changing winds of the market.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
These traders aren't operating in a vacuum.
No.
They're part of a larger ecosystem.
Right.
How does understanding market dynamics, the bigger picture, play into their success?
Well, you have to remember these traders are operating at a level where their actions can actually influence market trends.
Okay.
They're not just reacting. They are participants shaping the market landscape. It sounds like a high-stakes chess game.
It is.
Where everyone's constantly trying to outmaneuver each other.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any particular insights from the book on how they read the board, so to speak?
Well, one observation from Trout is that markets tend to gravitate towards stop-loss areas.
Mm.
You know, it really highlights the need to be strategic about where you place your stops.
Okay.
Because others are watching and may use those levels to their advantage.
Wait, so you're saying the market can actually sniff out those stop-loss orders?
Well, it's not that the market is sentient.
Okay.
But professional traders, like those featured in the book, are aware of this tendency.
Okay.
They understand the psychology of the crowd and how to capitalize on it.
Wow.
It's another layer of strategy to consider.
Okay, so we're starting to see that understanding the psychology of other traders is just as important as understanding your own.
Absolutely.
Sounds like we're about to dive into some deep psychological waters here.
We are.
But before we do, let's take a moment to talk about another critical skill.
Okay.
Observation and pattern recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Linda Bradford Rashko, another trader profiled, seems to have a real knack for this.
Yeah, she does.
What can we learn from her approach?
Her focus is really on reading market patterns to predict the direction of price movements.
Okay.
Not necessarily the magnitude.
Got it.
So she's looking for those signals that the market is giving about its potential trajectory.
It's like she's learned to decipher the market's secret language.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
It sounds incredibly complex.
It is.
But even with all these strategies and insights, you still need a certain mindset to handle the pressure, right?
So absolutely.
Even with the best tools, you need to know how to use them effectively.
That's where the winning mindset comes in.
Okay.
And these traders possess that.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond those technical skills.
Okay.
They understand the importance of humility, admitting mistakes, and learning from them.
It's like they've embraced the idea that failure is just a stepping stone to success.
Totally.
They don't let it define them. They use it to refine their approach.
Exactly.
And they're able to detach from their emotions.
Yes.
They stay calm under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They view trading as a game, a challenge to be conquered.
Yeah.
It's not personal. It's a puzzle to solve.
It's a fascinating perspective.
So we're seeing a pattern here.
Yes.
To become a market wizard, you need more than just technical analysis.
Absolutely.
It's a combination of mentorship, risk management, market savvy, and a winning mindset.
What's striking is the emphasis on the psychological aspects of trading.
Yeah.
These aren't just number crunchers.
Right.
They've mastered their own minds.
Yeah.
They understand that their inner game is as important as their outer game.
This is all fascinating stuff.
It is.
Well, we've only just scratched the surface of the new market wizards.
Yeah.
There's still so much to explore.
I know.
Let's take a quick break and then dive back in to uncover more insights from these remarkable traders.
Okay. You know, as we've been discussing these market wizard stories, their approach to losses has really stood out to me.
Okay.
They don't try to avoid them altogether.
Right.
They actually embrace losses as a natural part of the trading process.
That's interesting. It seems counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
You'd think these wizards would have figured out a way to never lose?
Well, as Stanley Druckenmiller, one of the featured traders, wisely said, the key to trading success is to specialize in being wrong half the time.
Wow.
So it's about having that mental fortitude to accept those losses, learn from them, and move forward.
Okay, so it's not about being right all the time.
Right.
It's about being able to handle being wrong.
Yeah.
And using those experiences to refine your approach.
Absolutely.
But how do you know when to cut your losses?
Right.
And when to ride out a trade?
Yeah.
It seems like a delicate balance.
It is, and that's where experience and intuition play a crucial role. You know, these traders have developed a keen sense of market dynamics. They can read those subtle cues, those shifts in momentum that signal when a trade might be turning sour.
So they're not just relying on technical indicators. They're developing a feel for the market almost like a sixth sense.
Exactly. It comes from countless hours of watching the markets, analyzing charts, and experiencing both wins and losses.
Okay.
It's about developing that deep understanding of how the market behaves.
Speaking of market behavior, something that surprised me in the book was how these traders factor in the psychology of other market participants.
Right.
They're not just looking at charts and numbers.
Yeah.
They're trying to understand what other traders are thinking and feeling.
Yes, that's a key element of their success.
Okay.
They understand that the market is driven by human emotions. Fear, greed, hope, despair.
Right.
And they're able to anticipate how those emotions might play out in the market.
Right. So it's like they're playing a game of strategy, trying to predict the moves of their opponents based on their emotional state.
Yeah.
It sounds incredibly complex.
It is.
But it also highlights how important it is to manage your own emotions when trading.
Absolutely. And there's actually a whole section in the book about Dr. Krauss, who's a trading psychologist,
Oh, wow.
who works with traders to help them overcome mental blocks and develop that winning mindset.
So it's not just about having a winning strategy.
Right.
It's about having a winning mindset that supports that strategy.
Exactly. You need both to succeed in the markets.
Okay.
And that mindset includes things like discipline, patience, and the ability to detach from your emotions.
It's about being able to step back from the noise
Yeah.
and see the bigger picture, to stay calm and focused, even when things are getting chaotic.
He said, if instead of saying, I'm going to do this trade, you say, I'm going to watch myself do this trade.
Okay.
All of a sudden, you find that the process is a lot easier.
Oh.
So it's about creating that mental distance.
Okay.
So you could observe your actions and decisions more objectively.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like you're creating a buffer between yourself and the emotional roller coaster of the market.
And that buffer can help you avoid making those impulsive decisions.
Right.
Based on fear or greed.
Okay.
It allows you to stick to your trading plan and ride out those inevitable ups and downs.
It sounds like developing this kind of mental discipline is crucial for long-term success in the markets.
It is.
But I'm curious, what do these market wizards actually do with all the money they make?
Right.
Do they just keep trading bigger and bigger?
Some do, but others have different goals.
Okay.
Take Mark Ritchie, for example.
Yeah.
He was a successful soybean trader.
Okay.
Who decided to use his profits to support his passion for anthropological exploration.
What?
He even went on expeditions to the Amazon rainforest.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like he used his trading success as a springboard to pursue his true calling.
Right.
It shows that trading can be a means to an end, a way to achieve your dreams and make a difference in the world.
It does, and it also highlights the importance of having a life outside of trading.
Okay.
Remember Tom Basso's advice?
Yeah.
He said, the universe will still be there tomorrow.
Okay.
So these traders understand the need for balance,
right?
For finding fulfillment outside of the markets.
So it's not just about making money.
No.
It's about living a fulfilling life. And finding that balance between work and personal life can actually make you a better trader in the long run.
It's true when you have other interest and passion.
Okay.
You're not so consumed by the market. It allows you to approach trading with a clearer and more detached mindset.
But finding that balance can be tough, especially in a fast-paced and demanding field like trading.
Right.
How did these traders manage to create that space for themselves and their loved ones?
It comes down to discipline and self-awareness.
Okay.
You know, they've learned to set boundaries, to create time for themselves.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of the market's chaos.
So they're not just managing risk in the markets.
Right.
They're managing their time and energy as well.
Exactly. And that kind of discipline can be just as valuable as any trading strategy.
Okay.
It helps you maintain that mental and emotional equilibrium.
Right.
It's so crucial for making sound decisions.
Speaking of strategies, we've been focusing a lot on the psychology of trading.
Right.
But I'm curious to know more about the actual methods these traders use.
Okay.
Are there any common threads that run through their approaches?
Well, while their individual styles vary,
okay,
one thing they all emphasize is the importance of having an edge.
An edge. What exactly does that mean in the context of trading?
It means having a strategy, a system,
an
approach that gives you a statistically significant advantage over the market.
All right.
So it's not about following the crowd or relying on luck.
Right.
It's about having a well-defined method that you've tested and refined over time.
So it's like having a secret weapon?
Not necessarily a secret weapon, but a well-honed strategy that's tailored to your personality and your risk tolerance.
Okay.
It could be based on fundamental analysis, technical analysis, or a combination of both.
It sounds like finding your edge is a process of self-discovery, of understanding your strengths and weaknesses as a trader,
Right.
and aligning your approach with your individual style.
You're right. And it also requires a commitment to constant learning and adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
These traders are always testing their ideas, refining their methods, and evolving with the ever-changing market landscape.
So they're not afraid to challenge conventional wisdom.
No, to think outside the box, to constantly push the boundaries of what's possible.
Exactly. And that willingness to question assumptions and explore new ideas is what fuels their innovation and their success.
Okay.
They're not content with simply following the herd.
Right.
They want to blaze their own trails.
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
It suggests that success in trading and perhaps in life comes from having the courage to be different, to stand out from the crowd, and to forge your own path.
It does. And it's important to remember that this path won't always be easy.
Right.
There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt along the way.
Okay.
But these traders have developed the resilience to overcome those obstacles and emerge stronger.
So it's not just about having a brilliant strategy.
Right.
It's about having the mental toughness to stick with it even when things get tough.
It's about having that unwavering belief in yourself and your abilities. And that resilience, that ability to bounce back from adversity is what separates the winners from the losers in the long run.
It is. It's about having the grit to weather the storms and come out on top.
It sounds like we're learning that trading is not just about numbers and charts.
Yeah.
It's about psychology, intuition, discipline, and a relentless pursuit of excellence.
And it's about finding that delicate balance between risk and reward, detachment and passion, following the rules and breaking them.
Right.
It's about understanding that trading is a game of skill, strategy, and mental fortitude.
And it's about recognizing that even in the face of uncertainty and volatility, with the right mindset and approach, it's possible to achieve extraordinary results.
These new market wizards have given us this fascinating glimpse into the inner workings of the market and the minds of those who have mastered it.
Right.
Their stories aren't just about making money, but about mastering the art of trading, about understanding human nature and navigating the complexities of the financial world.
It's been an incredible journey so far, uncovering the insights and strategies of these remarkable traders.
It has.
But before we wrap up, let's transition to the final part of our deep dive and explore how these lessons can be applied beyond the realm of trading.
Sounds good.
To other areas of our lives.
Okay.
As we've been unpacking these market wizard stories, I keep coming back to how important self-awareness seems to be to their success. They've really done the work to understand their strengths, weaknesses.
Their emotional triggers.
Yeah, all those things.
All those things.
That can really derail you under pressure.
Absolutely. And that self-awareness allows them to make deliberate choices about their trading style, their risk tolerance, even the specific markets that they trade in.
So they're not just chasing the latest trends or blindly following someone else's advice.
They're forging their own path.
Yeah, it's more about leveraging their individuality to their advantage.
Exactly.
Making decisions that are aligned with their values and their psychological makeup.
Yeah.
That takes guts, wouldn't you say?
It does.
To trust your own judgment and go against the grain in a world that often rewards conformity.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
But these market wizards aren't afraid to be different.
Right.
They're secure in their own abilities.
Okay.
They're not looking for external validation.
And that inner confidence is what allows them to stay so calm under pressure.
Exactly.
It can make those tough calls, ride out those market storms.
Because they trust their own compass.
But the market can be brutal.
Oh. Yes.
It exposes your weaknesses.
Yeah.
It challenges everything you think you know.
It's like a crucible.
Yeah.
It tests you.
Yeah.
And those who persevere emerge with this profound understanding of themselves. And the market's power.
So this brings up a good point. We're not all going to be market wizards.
Right.
So what's the takeaway for our listener?
That's the exciting part.
Yeah.
These lessons apply far beyond trading. It's about self-awareness, managing risk, building a mindset that can handle pressure, uncertainty, and even failure.
Yeah.
These are skills for life, not just the markets.
It's almost like we've been given a blueprint for success.
Yeah.
If these principles work in such a high-stakes environment,
right,
imagine applying them to business relationships, personal growth.
Absolutely.
All of it.
The biggest takeaway that hit home for me was this.
Okay.
It's not about being perfect.
Okay.
It's about persistence.
Okay.
Embracing the journey, learning from your mistakes, never giving up on your goals.
Right.
That's what really resonated with me.
Having the courage to step into the arena.
Yes.
Face your fears. Strive to become the best version of yourself.
These market wizards show us it's possible.
It's been an incredible journey exploring these ideas with you.
I agree.
And for our listener, remember,
yes,
the real journey begins now.
It does.
Take these insights.
Cultivate that winning mindset.
Embrace the challenges ahead.
Absolutely.
Who knows, maybe you'll discover your own inner market wizard along the way.